Just stop. Just stop it. Stop. No. Just stop it. It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents? I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop.
What's going on, world? This is your boy Troy, and Evergreen, we're back at it again. Goddamn.
I spit hot fire.
I'm God, bitch!
Look up in the sky, is that a goon or green goblin? None of the above, it's a motherfucking dragon. Super Saiyan 2 to a cell, no problem. You put me in a cell, then you got
Bow down, nigga. I'm God, nigga.
Oh, fuck yeah, this is the shit. Kill me now.
What's going on, world? This is your boy Troy, your friendly neighborhood NGTOW, and I thought we were done. Right? I thought we were done with this. I thought that we as a people were done with this whole Evergreen thing. I thought that, look, it's been a month, you know, we could just, we all, let's go on with our lives. Let's let the people return and let's let everything happen. I made a video on it. You know, we've had some discussions about it and we can all let it go, but apparently not. Now, I was, going through my go-through, and I came across another video from NGTOW University, and it was talking about Professor Weinstein and giving an interview with him. And apparently, as most of our lives really have continued on, and we are kind of moving forward with some things, and we're all just doing our thingy thing, and apparently he's still going through some things. So I don't want to, you know, I don't want to speak for him. I'm going to play the video in a few seconds or so. So with that, I'm going to play that, and then we're going to get into some commentary afterwards. So without further ado, let's roll the video.
So if you remember a while back, Evergreen State College had this crazy leftist and SJW takeover where all white members of the university were forced to leave campus. Now, the only person who actually fought back against this was Brett Weinstein, who is a white liberal professor who clearly values free speech more than his leftist counterparts. He was harassed, threatened, and fast forward to today, he has essentially been barred from ever returning to the campus. The whole story is crazy, and even I have been targeted by some of these whack jobs in the comments saying some pretty outlandish things. Bottom line though, this is clear racism and no sane-minded person would stand for it. Enjoy Tucker Carlson's second interview with Brett, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Time now for campus craziness, and in that category, no school comes close to matching Evergreen College in Washington State. If you've been in a coma for the last month, here are the basics. Student activists sought to kick all white people off campus for an entire day. Brett Weinstein, who's a biology professor there and a self-described progressive, refused to leave. He said that was wrong. He was subsequently harassed by a mob howling for his job. Instead of sticking up for their colleague, meanwhile, dozens of Evergreen professors have called for Weinstein to leave, calling him the villain, demanding he be investigated. Professor Weinstein has relocated his family for their safety, but he joins us now, and we're grateful he has. Professor, thanks for coming on. So,
thanks for inviting me back, Tucker.
You're no longer on the campus of Evergreen. Why?
Well, the college has never acknowledged the danger that they put us in, and therefore I have no way of knowing whether it's safe for me to return. Their assurances that it is safe don't mean anything, not that they've offered them.
Not that they've offered them. No, it seems to me, and you and I have talked before, I doubt we share the same politics at all, but this seems a pretty cut and dried case of the defense of free expression. You had a point of view, and your right to have that ought to be sacrosanct, and I wonder, you know, how many of your colleagues or others in academia have supported you in that?
Well, I've received tremendous support outside of the college, and I've received quite a bit of support privately within the college, but publicly, only one other professor has come forward to say he supports my position.
And what is your position, if you could sum it up for us?
Well, the issue is complicated. Let me start by just simply pointing out the protest of my class occurred because I sent an email to the staff and faculty email list protesting what we call day of absence. In this case, day of absence was being reversed by the organizing committee, and white people were asked to leave the campus. It was not that we were forced to leave, but we were asked to leave, and it was made very clear that leaving was an act of allyship with people of color, and therefore not leaving, if you were white, meant that you were not an ally.
And you refused to leave.
I did refuse to leave, and I sent a letter. I think it was very carefully stated, but it said that there was a tremendous difference between a population absenting themselves from a shared space and a population deciding to absent other people from that same space, and that on a college campus, people should be equally free to be on campus irrespective of their skin color.
Exactly. Amen, which I thought was sort of a basic precept of American life. Do you plan to go back to Evergreen?
Well, I certainly have duties to finish this year, and I have no alternative employment, so my expectation is that I will have to go back. That said, it's not exactly clear how I can go back to a campus where the administration and the faculty have invested so heavily in demonizing me. At first, they demonized me as a racist, and as it became clear that that was not resonating with people, they shifted their critique, and in fact have blamed my last appearance on your program for everything that has occurred at Evergreen since. I don't know how I can go back and teach, given that I have been portrayed as the reason that Evergreen is in crisis.
It's just grotesque. And for the record, of course, all of this happened before you came on our show. We asked you on because we saw it unfolding. I really hope a college, any college, who wants a professor or principal will call you right after this appearance tonight. Professor, thanks for coming on.
Thanks very much.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now. This is cancer. This is so much cancer that I can feel the tumors growing on my back. And it's way down heavy on me, and it's not okay. Can you help a nigga out and just stop this? Please?
All right, world, this is your boy Troy, your friendly neighborhood NGTOW, and we're back, and let's get into some commentary. So now, if I don't know if you just skipped already to this point, you didn't want to see anything that happened before, but look, let's talk about it. This is absolutely some bullshit. Now, you just saw Professor Weinstein talk about how he can't even go back to campus. Like, he's still facing this I'll say this onslaught of bullshit, and that's exactly what this is bullshit. And this bullshit is starting to affect me personally. Now give me like 2 minutes, give me like a minute. Let me just talk about some of this personal stuff, and then we'll get into me chopping motherfuckers down. But so I attended a Juneteenth celebration over the course of the weekend. If you don't know what Juneteenth is, that's pretty much when Afro-Americans come together and we talk about how we celebrate the day that we got freed from slavery, or the day that we found out we were freed from something in that timeline, right? And why is it 10th instead of an actual day? Well, because it was either June 13th, somewhere through the 19th, somewhere in that. So within that week, we were freed. I mean, it kind of sounds like some nigga shit. I'm just being honest with you. Like, we don't know the exact day, but we know it's kind of like in this range, so we're just gonna call it Juneteenth. Like, that's kind of what this is. That's kind of like how a part of me sees it. But so I end up going, and look, family, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was a straight fucking agent, bro. Like, I had my glasses on, like, I was just kind of like laid back, like, didn't really talk to nobody, not a whole lot. There's some people I saw, whatever, but I really just, my main objective was to go and observe, man, because at the same time, I'm like, there's no way that shit could be this bad, bro. There's no way it could be this bad. But so we're sitting there, and they had a few speakers up, as they all do, some prominent leaders in the African American community, and well, of course, I wasn't chose to speak because that would just be dangerous. But so I'm sitting there and eating my barbecue, which was on point. Let's be honest with you. We can't throw down something nasty on that grill. My goodness. But I'm sitting there, and they had a few speakers, and every single one of them brought up Evergreen. Like I say, it's been a month out. Every one of them brought up Evergreen. And not one of them said anything against what was happening up there. It was all like, yeah, well, we need to support our brothers and sisters up there in Washington. We need to support our fellow people in their fight. And I don't know how many, I swear to God, if I see another black person say some shit about a struggle, I'm about to strangle a motherfucker. But, you know, and their struggle and their this and that. And some of my fellow black people were sitting there, and they kind of looked agitated, just a little bit. The overwhelming, they were in complete support. Yeah, complete support. There were a few that were indifferent, a couple that were like, I know some bullshit, and then there was one who looked absolutely flabbergasted. And let me ask you who you thought that one was. There was only one motherfucker, jaw on the floor, just what? Twilight Zone looking ass. Me. I'm sitting here, I'm expecting Ashton Kutcher to walk out on some like white savior, white Jesus type shit and just be like, we're just fucking with you, you're punked. And I'm like, oh shit, praise white Jesus, Ashton Kutcher. This is fucking, you have, whoo, God, thank you so much. I didn't think that I didn't think this shit was real. And then like everybody turns and just like, we're just fucking with you. But no, there was no Deus Ex Machina, Deus Ex White Jesus, Ashton Kutcher. It was just nothing. This was the actual reality that I lived in. And so, I ended up kind of thinking to myself, obviously, look, this is primarily a men's channel, NGTOW channel. I like to talk about, things regarding female nature, some self-actualizing things for men in today's day and age. Like those are the type of things that I like to talk about. But at the same time, and it's crazy, like I'm gonna give you just a taste, right? Just at the same time, when the universe keeps fucking with you, right, and you have the ability to respond, then it's like, that's at least, maybe not for your whole life, but at least for the purpose and time that you're in right now, that is your life's purpose, man. And so, I'm even looking at my own channel, and the overwhelming popularity comes from these videos that I do in regards to my I don't know if it's disdain, but for my feelings, my poignant feelings on my fellow African Americans. And it's one of those things that if this is something that you would like to see more of, just comment below. Just, talk your shit, Troy, and I'll be like, okay, cool. I'll continue to do that. But, I don't want to plug anything. I should move forward with it. But let's talk about some of my inner bubblings. And now, in some of my comment section, a lot of you guys are like, some of you guys are like, well, you cuss a little bit too much. You go a little bit off the cuff. I mean, I wish that you could look. This ain't I'm not a professor. I'm a guy who just looks really good and talks a lot of shit, and that's what I want to do, right? is really just talk my shit and talk my shit as best as possible. And what I see with this Evergreen thing is some absolute bullshit. There is no justification for what's going on. The only I'll say 3 groups of people that are latching on to this thing and are in support of it are the extremely weak, the extremely stupid, or the extremely exploitative. And we'll talk about this. So let's talk about weak. Now, if you saw my last video on Evergreen, then you kind of understand a little bit when I talk about weak motherfuckers, particularly just weak niggas. Like, you understand what I'm talking about, and just because it's in here and I gotta regurgitate it, let's just kind of go over it. Just like, honestly, if we were to, this is exactly what weak people do. Weak people, they pick on like other weak people and then they pretend that it's strong. So let's talk about it, right? Now, back in like the 60s and shit, like there was actual struggle. There was an actual need to quote unquote fight the white man and all this other good stuff. Like there was, and getting kind of more personal again. I mean, I could say my grandpa, right? He ran track. He was a world-class hurdler. He held a couple of world records, and you know, his body's kind of failing him now, so he might not be around very much longer. But you know, there were some times that, you know, we would get together and he would kind of talk about some of his experience. And look, this man ran track kind of like on some Jesse Owens type shit. Just ran track all around the world. I mean, we're talking Japan, you know, Tokyo, you know, fucking Brazil and China and just all over the world. And, you know, he says like some of the toughest times that he's had is when he came back here and had to, you know, and had to deal with a lot of the racism and prejudice that was going on here. You know, that was a time to rally for some shit. That was a time to boycott, picket, all this other good shit. But now, here in this day and age, it's unfounded. And so when I say weak people, like let's break this down. Let's break this down and really see about like how weak this shit is, right? Because these people, instead of, like I say, over the course of the weekend, at least 20 black men got shot down across the United States, and it was all done by other black men or other minorities. This is the shit that just happens. There have been drive-bys all through neighborhoods, all kinds of things, like, and not to mention all the abortions that these black women are having, and that's literally the #1 killer of black folks. But no, you know what? So I don't even know how many countless, you know, hundreds of lives or whatever have been lost just in a weekend due to our own ineptitude. But what these people want to focus on is a white liberal professor in fucking Washington. Like, it's literally in the corner of the country away from everything. Like, obviously not like the corner like Alaska is, but as far as the lower 48 goes, right? When we talk about, and look, let's just be honest, when we talk about the weakest people in the country, like, look, just if someone's about to get triggered, eat a dick. But if we talk about the weakest people that we can think of, the one person who isn't about that life, it's gonna be a white liberal college professor in fucking Washington, right? And these people are taking pride. It's like they, and I know the mindset. They're taking pride in like fucking up this dude's life and fucking with white people up in Washington. Like, it is crazy. And yet somehow, like, all across the country, all across, in all these communities, particularly, and I just got to speak on my own community, black community, it's just like, that's where we focus our collective attention to, is to that shit. And it's almost akin to like a 6th grader who picks a fight with a first grader and feels good about holding himself down. And so I'm just gonna let's do a little bit. Let's do a recap right here. Right. Let's think about this. Right. What did this whole thing start over? Well, minorities wanted to have a day where they left campus, where they got to ditch school for a day just for being black or whatever the hell else that they wanted to be, right? They just a day, I'm black, fuck the world, I'm leaving. All right, cool. You get the ditch. That's cool. That's part of the culture. You go do what you want to do, right? So then that day comes up this year and they said, well, you know what? White people, you gotta leave. Right? And then, you know, you get the few of them, or the one in Professor Weinstein's case, and he's like, you know what? Fuck it, I don't want to. You know? So they talk about, oh, racism and being oppressed and everything like that. This is literally a fight that you picked. You weak punk motherfucker. This is a fight that you picked. It's not like white people came in and fucking Washington, right? It's not like white folks came in and they're like, all right, niggas, leave my campus for a day. Which, even then, I mean, there were some times in college, if they would have said that, I would have been like, well, fuck it. Right? But no, this was a fight you picked. You picked a fight with the weakest liberal college in the most. It blows my mind. And there are people that are actually taking pride in standing for this thing, but it grinds my gears, man. It grinds me. And now I'm doing that thing where some of you said I shouldn't do when I'm all over the place. But let me center myself. Namaste. And also, let's move on to the next one. I said the another type of person that would be drawn to this is ignorant people. Now, this should be self-explanatory, man. I mean, look, we live in the day and age where people just they get spoon-fed the bullshit information. No one wants to do actual research. No one wants to do even logical thinking. No one wants to do, critical thinking. No one wants to think at all. They just want shit handed to them. So now, and people, of course, because they want something to be angry about. Well, what they really want is significance. All right, we have 6 basic needs. We have we have the need for certainty. We have a need for uncertainty, right? We have a need for love. We have a need for significance. We have a need for there's 2 more, contribution and a need for growth. So these people, they want significance. They live in a world in which, because of their ignorance and most likely their stupidity, no one gives a shit about what they have to say. No one gives a shit. Like, if you were to take their anger off the table and you were to just say, okay, what is it that you contribute? What is it that you do? Why should I give a fuck about you or what you have to say? There'd be nothing. For most of these people, it would be nothing. And I'm just being honest. For my fellow Afro-Americans, yes, let me just say this. A lot of y'all, you're not contributing shit. There's nothing that you say that is of substance. You get a platform because you're black and because of this white guilt and all this other good shit, and it's you just run with it. It's like there's no more fucking standards. Like, yeah, okay, I'm black, I talk shit, but at least I try to bring some logic to it. Like, at least I can say, okay, I have points. They may not be the best for, a PowerPoint presentation, but at least I've taken the time to at least think these things through. And this is just how I communicate, how I express them. But that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a bunch of ignorant ass people that have nothing else to stand on other than I'm black and or I'm a minority, and I just fuck the white man, right? Which I kind of want to go back so I guess it's kind of an encompassing point, right? But let's just say that I am a hardcore Pan-Africanist. Let's just say that I'm the Nation of Islam Negro. I'm that guy, you know. And you know, I were to say, and this kind of goes back to the weak thing, right? And I were to say, you know, like, you know, I hate the white man. I want death to America, blah, 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 all this other bullshit, right? But that's who I am. And if I were to say, and I had the say so over where we should put our resources, our time and effort, I wouldn't want to put any of it in fucking Washington, man. I don't want to, like, we're aborting babies, we're fucking killing each other, and we want to spend our time with fucking white liberal college fucking up his life, you know, besides doing shit that matters, which, like I say, just a bunch of weak shit. But moving on, when we're talking about ignorance and we're talking about stupidity, let's also take into consideration here that this is a college. Like, this isn't like a restaurant, right? This isn't a workplace or something like that. This is a college. This is a learning institute. This is what this is, and so this isn't the video where I can really discuss a lot of the details as far as how our education system is failing us, but let's also talk about how our education system has been failing us. Now, I don't have all the stats or whatever like this. This is off the cuff. So, but let's talk about it. Like we live in a time now where, and look, it has been proven. We live in a time now where we're pretty much treating everybody in our school system like they're girls. We're treating everybody in our school system, and it's almost like we have girls and then we have bad girls, right? There's no boys. There's no time for men to be men. And obviously, like, look, we don't get to a civilization. You don't get to build these things without critical thinking, without doing, without action, which is the thing that, what are the two sexes? Oh my God, I said two sexes, right? Actually, it's men, right? Like boys, oh my God, they have ADD. Well, what the fuck is ADD? Like, ADD is like, I want to do something. And they're like, no, you got to sit there and you got to be a good boy. Just the way Sarah is. You see how Sarah's just sitting there, she's being a good girl? That's the way you have to be. He's like, but this fucking sucks. So now, okay, well, here's your little fidget spinner. Right? Go do that. And so now, you know, we grow up in this time where and just another thing, and I know this is kind of coming off the rip with this, right? But another thing, when we talk about how men and how women learn, men actually like to get into the meat of things. Men, we like to fuck shit up. Like, let's be honest with you. Like, and it's not a bad thing, right? But men, we like to take. It's in the masculine nature to take chances, to take risks, to go out there and do some things. When we're looking at, you know, the chemistry, we like to pour the mixtures and see how things bubble and fizz, and that's what we do. Women are more of like, I would rather, like, to teach women, it's more of like they would rather have the answers already spoon-fed to them. They tell you the answers, and then you tell them that they're smart for getting it. That's how they best learn to deal with things, right? That's them. So when we started moving our education system away from actually doing shit and actually having to think of shit and being creative to, here's what this is, I'm gonna give this to you, you give this back, like, you spoon food me the same answers I literally just gave you. Now that's where we're at. So now we have a generation of both men and women, boys and girls, growing up, and no one has critical thinking skills. First of all, like, no critical thinking skills. Because if there was, there wouldn't be this overwhelming support for all this other bullshit, right? So no critical thinking skills, and also a lack of productive action. That's what we see. So at the same time, like, that's what so when we look at these campuses, when we look at the way universities and shit is ran today, yeah, I mean, that's what we see. Instead of men thinking like, all right, well, maybe we should not really give a fuck about the shit going on here, and maybe we should go do something that, like, no, this is it. This is the product of the current education system. And it's some bullshit, but I digress. I'm about to go into like the whole presentation. I mean, there's there are different presentations. There's all kinds of stuff on this, but I'm not the guy to talk about it right now. So we're gonna move on to the third type of person that flocks to this type of thing, and this is the exploiter. Look, this is the person who sees what's going on. And look, just Al Sharpton looking ass niggas, right? These are the type of dudes, type of women, mainly media, where they rush to this drama and then they say, oh yeah, and then they play up all the hype and, well, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And, well, you know, white men are this and that, and, you know, black men are this and that. And they play the two against each other, and now, you know, they get more buzz, they get more eyeballs on their dying mediums, they get all the things, and you know, it is what it is. Like, they really don't care about what's going on. They really don't care about what's going on in the communities. They really don't care about what's going on in the campuses. They really don't care what's going on with black people. Don't really care about what's going on with white people. All they care about is getting their ratings up, right? Is getting getting eyeballs to their things, and you know, making that money. That's what we see. At the same time, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I were to talk to some of the speakers at the Juneteenth thing, and I mean, if I were to take them to like a back room and have an actual conversation with them, I'm pretty sure like at least one or two of them would have been like, yeah, you know, I really don't. First of all, I don't give a shit about what's going on, but hey, you gotta play to the crowd, right? That's what they talk about. That's what gets them going. So we're gonna, you know, I'm just gonna ride that gravy train. And look, that's like, not like I'm saying, that's part of the reason for why, like, these mediums are dying. Like, that's why, you know, people are like, oh, look, if you're watching this now, then this is kind of a proof of that. You'd rather watch some random floating head on the internet talk about his thoughts regarding a situation than Don Lemon and my light-skinned having ass talking about things that I think is important and poignant in the black community, which I've never really been to, but I've drove past it once. Right? Look, if you are Don Lemon and you do find, you know, this, you know, whatever, do what you do. But yeah, but look, this is literally the same shit that we see over and over and over and over again. I mean, fucking with all the shootings and you know, Trayvon and Mike Brown and all this other good shit, and fucking you know, Jesse Jack. Like, every time some black shit happens, the brigade comes. I mean, what you call it? The Boondocks did an excellent episode on this. What was it, a Reverend Lovejoy or something? Like, I forgot the episode, but pretty much like it's their job to race bait. Like, this is how they, like, legitimately, this is how they make their money. So look, I have a solution for that. And some of y'all aren't gonna like it. I know a lot of black people aren't gonna like it, but here's part of my solution. For at least the next 4 years, I'm going to elect myself to be the new Negro spokesperson. I am going to be the person that if you as a white man say nigger in an open public forum, or you fuck up and you say jigaboo or porch monkey or something of that nature, you don't go to Jesse Jackson, you don't go to Al Sharpton, you DM me and we work this shit out. And if I think it's some bullshit, then I will announce to the world that it is some bullshit, and you will be exonerated. I am the new officially unofficial Negro spokesperson. So, right? So now, whenever you see some bullshit like that happen, you turn to me and I will tell you if it's really worth your attention and your time. But seriously, I think we need to stop supporting these just the charlatans. I mean, at the same time, it's really to a point, it's crazy. Like, it's really to a point to where we don't even, like, no one even takes them seriously anymore. Like, they're just those guys. Okay, here's what I mean. And I'm gonna fumble through it, but I'm gonna pick up the ball and pick up the rock and we gonna run with it, right? But here's what I mean. We don't even really believe them anymore. Like, when shit happens, we're just like, well, fuck, we need a black perspective, right? We need a famous community black guy to talk about things that's happening. So I don't know, fuck it. All right, I guess we'll call up Al Sharpton. I guess we'll call up Jesse J. I guess we'll call him up, right? And so they always have that spotlight. They always have that thing, and that's where they make their money. You know, it's literally their job to go up and be like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to black people in the history of black people. Now pay me, boy. But, you know, now I don't know, man. I just had some shit to get off my chest. Cleveland steamer style, and you know, this is just, I don't know, family. Like, if you actually like this type of thing, where I don't know, I guess there's a better way for me to put it, where I just go off on black folks and I just rant about shit that's going on in my head. If you actually like this, go on ahead, leave a like, comment below. Like, honestly, if you're just like, talk your shit, Troy, and I'll be like, oh, shit, all right, I guess that's what it means, so I'll talk my shit. But with that, if you want to, you know, support the channel, head on over enlightenmentmanual.com. It's the world's greatest self-discovery system, lifetime money-back guarantee. If there's something in there that, you know, if you go through it, you find nothing that'll change you, you're like, ah, fuck it. Well, fuck it. I'll give you your money back. You keep the system. It'll be what it is. Also, head on over to the Troy Mason Exchange. A lot of great products in there to help you slim down or bulk up or do whatever, get your body right, which will help you get your mind right, which will help you get your grind right. And with that, I've been your boy Troy. I am your friend, and I will see you on the other side.
You need to stop everything. What are you doing with your life? Look at you. You're dirt to me. You're disgusting. You're fucking sick. You're nothing. You're dirt. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're fucking sick. Fucking end it all. I'm gonna shoot your dad in the mouth with a shotgun. Saw it off. Fuck you. Fuck you.
The dick was good. But it's the only problem, though. She said the dick was so good that as she started rocking, she just got into it, and all of a sudden, she said something just hit her, bam, all upside his head, just slapped him. Dick will make you slap somebody. So y'all need to remember that. That's what I'm trying to deal with. The fact.
More like concept hated, cause you know I do not take shit. Maybe I may give shit. Give this misfit. Like a small condom on this dick. Words are like bullets and my bullets go ballistic. Beat hit hard, Ray Lewis, hold a hit stick.
You gonna get this work, nigga?
I'm your daddy now. I'm your fucking daddy. Go to your fucking room. Huh? Go to your fucking room and stand in the corner. No dinner for you tonight. No Campbell soup for you tonight. Because your mom is fucking poor. And so are you. Fuck you.